Hey, Alex,
Hey,
you ready for this?
yep.
All right, we'll start with questions. First question is from James Carpia from the Oregonian.
Hey Alex, how are you? First, going back to spring, or even before the spring, we were asking whether it was left guard or center. We've only seen you at center so far. Is that still the case? Are you there exclusively? And who's been, in that case, who's been working with you on each side of you at each of the guard spots?
Yeah, we've all been kind of rotating around positions, just trying to find the best five guys that can play. So I've played tackle, I've played guard, I've played center so far in just our four fall camp practices. So we've all kind of moved around with different variations of guys who are snapping or guys who are playing guard or tackle. So we've all rotated in center, guard, and tackle really.
Next question is from Ryan Thorburn from the Register Guard.
Hey, Alex. Obviously, last year's group, they had all that experience and they were, had such a great, chemistry from getting thrown in there together, a lot of them as freshmen and playing so many snaps. How would you kind of describe the chemistry you have with, the next generation of offensive linemen, with many of you guys kind of probably bonding behind the scenes and preparing behind those guys?
Yeah. So I think the past few years, I came in with George Moore and Ryan Walk were in my class, and so I think we've all been with the twos these past few years and kind of bonding and gaining that chemistry that's so valuable. Even though we haven't played a lot of snaps on the field together, I think just kind of behind the scenes in practice, we've definitely benefited from all these. And then we got a lot of new young guys coming in. Obviously, we have zero returning starters, which is some big shoes to fill, especially with the older guys and how experienced they were, and all of them starting like over 50 games or whatever it is between Throck, Shane, and Jake and those guys. So some big shoes to fill, but we just gotta keep working every single day. And I think the chemistry that we built over the past few years has definitely helped us, and definitely these past few months getting the young guys in and bonding with them and teaching them the playbook. I think that's really, really helped us and benefited from it.
Next question comes from Eric Scopel from 247 Sports.
Hey, Alex, you mentioned playing all those different O-line spots. You seem like you had a pretty good player to follow there with Calvin in terms of his versatility. Just what did you learn from him? And then maybe did you have a comfort zone, a favorite spot up on the offensive line?
Yeah. Throck was, that's a true Swiss Army knife right there of offensive line play. He played everything, and he never complained one bit about moving from left tackle, whether it was left tackle to right tackle or right tackle to center to right guard, whatever it was. He just didn't complain, and so I think that's something you gotta recognize. It's not easy going from different positions, but you just got to do what you got to do, like whatever's best for the team, whatever's going to help the team win. You got to do that. I think that's a big thing that I picked up from him. So I think I'm comfortable with whatever position they want me at, and whatever position I can help the team win at is what I want to play and what I want to do, and whatever they want me to do, I'll do it.
Next question, AJ Jacobson from Rivals.
Hey, Alex, how are you doing? I like the look of those arms going here into the camp. One of the biggest things on offensive line is who's going to be the leader, who's going to be the leaders taking over with this whole new cast of characters. Tell me about who's kind of taken on those roles so far.
Just the guys that have been here. Leadership it's not inherited. It's got to be earned, and I think that's the only way you can respect leadership is if the person earns it. So, I'm trying to earn a leadership spot on this offensive line, and I think a good quote Coach Mirabal put up today in the O-line room was from Michael Jordan. It says, you earn your leadership every day. So I think that's the perfect kind of mantra for the O-line room right now is it needs leadership, because you got five guys that left that played a lot of snaps here and that were obviously really talented and high caliber players. So replacing that, you need to have leadership ready to go. So I'm trying my best to kind of win over the room and be a leader and have them be able to follow. And all the older guys, Ryan Walk, Stephen Jones, George Moore, all those guys we're all trying to lead lead this unit.
Next question comes from Matt Preem, 247 Sports.
Hey, Alex. Not only do you guys have to replace 5 starters, you also have to learn a new offense system under Joe Moorhead. Kind of curious, just from an offensive line standpoint, what's different about this offense compared to what you've been used to the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely similarities in what we do. I can't go into, a whole lot of detail of what we're running, but like football is pretty much the same. There's a lot of the same schemes or similar blocking schemes that carry over, and there's some different stuff. So I think the biggest thing is you got to adapt to whatever the coach wants you to run, and certain plays that are different than what we've ran before, and certain plays are the same. There's a lot of differences in there, but yeah, it's just adapting to whatever they throw at you.
Next question, Julian Minenson from KZI.
Hey, Alex. I'm just curious, what's probably your biggest takeaway, if you could choose one, from last year's group? And is the mindset for you guys on the O-line different heading into this fall camp, knowing that you guys are going to get a lot more time on the field?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we learned from the group last year is that, I talked about the earned leadership and earning your right to play at Oregon, and that nothing's inherited. I think that's a big thing that they showed us, and they were the most consistent group I've ever seen. They brought it every single day, and they were the leaders of the team. So I guess just seeing that blueprint, that's something that I'm very grateful that we got to see, and that we can kind of carry over. And we've seen the blueprint, so we're trying to basically follow in their footsteps in terms of leading the team and earning the respect in the leadership positions. And for going into this year, yeah, I mean, every year you got to go in wanting to compete. Obviously, last year it was really tough to, if you wanted to get on the field, we had like 6 or 7 guys that were rotating in. So tough to break that rotation. And now there's, 5 open spots, and everybody's trying to earn a position and a starting spot. So it's definitely competition. But that's how it's been since I've got here.
Time for 2 more questions. Warren Williamson from Oregon Duck Football News.
Alex, good to see you. Oregon offensive line over the last few years has gained a lot of national notoriety, mostly because of Panay's success and the guys who went on to play in the NFL last year. I'm curious, with Coach Cristobal's success of recruiting the offensive line, and the type of caliber of players that are coming now, I'd like to get your assessment of that caliber of offensive line members who are there now, and Oregon being called Offensive Line U.
Yeah, I think that's that's a cool title to have, I guess. Like I said, the other guys that were here before, Shane, Jake, Brady, Throck, Panay, Dallas, all those guys, they earned the right to be what I thought was the best offensive line in the country last year. And I know people will try to argue that, but that's my opinion. That's what I think I thought they were personally. And, they were the most consistent group. Like I said, they came up and showed up the same time every day before everybody else. And, they worked their butts off to get where they are. And so kind of seeing that, that's what it really takes, to play offensive line here, I think is just grinding. And, obviously recruiting high caliber guys, but when you can get high caliber guys and match them up with, if they have high character too, you're going to have a special unit, most definitely.
He ran out the clock on that one. He's got to get to tutoring, so we're going to let him go. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it. Habibi Likio will be next.
Thank you so much.